So in a little bit, I'm going to give you a handful of ideas on how to survive and thrive if you're retiring on Social Security with no savings.
I was just watching a video and people were talking about retiring on very small amounts of money. And it occurred to me, well, what if somebody had to retire with no money? I mean, things happen to people all the time, you know. I mean, you know, you've heard things happen years ago, and it wasn't even that long ago in Cyprus where, you know, government shut down bank accounts, and of course in the 80s, lots of banks went bankrupt, and for one reason or another, with the things that are in the wings nowadays, who knows what's going to happen? Anything can happen, right? And if somehow your bank account disappeared, what would you do?
Hey, it's Italian Day.
A knife?
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Now, Angela, what do you call this?
Oil. Frack.
Hot oil.
Burnt myself.
Angela, what do you call this? What's in it?
Polish calzone.
It's calzone, steak.
Deep fried.
Steak calzone, and then a pizza. Yeah, that looks like a really cheesy pizza.
Ooh. A chain of Angelo's Pizza.
Okay.
Well, I've done just about a little bit of everything in life. I mean, I've started a career as a wheeler dealer in business as a young man. I changed course and embraced, you know, simple living and a better lifestyle, you know, retire early lifestyle. We've traveled around the United States. We've traveled the world. You know, we've done all these things. We've homesteaded in USA, raised our children on a homestead for over 10 years. So we've done all those things. And so I don't know what you would do if you had to retire with no savings and just rely on Social Security. And so there's a lot of people talking about retiring, and they're really concerned. And people say you're not supposed to, Social Security is not supposed to, you're not supposed to depend on Social Security. You're supposed to have other sources of income. But the thing is that the way Social Security is designed is that if you have any kind of income at all, they start, you know, they start taxing it or taking it away. You know, you don't get as much and this kind of thing. So it's questionable whether that's really, you know, I think it's just a kind of like a safety net. It's supposed to be a safety net, you know. And when people say things like that, different people's Social Security is different. I mean, some people work full-time, 9 to 5s, all the way up until they're, you know, 65, 70 years old, and other people didn't. You know, so some people worked for a period of time, other people worked part-time and had businesses, side businesses. So for one reason or another, different people's Social Security amounts aren't all going to be the same amounts. So let's say I had to retire with no money, no savings, just a Social Security check. It can be done. I've had the good pleasure to be around and go around the world and be in different countries and spend a lot of time in the USA, be around retirees even there. And one of the premises that I see that crops up a lot is the idea that people think that they're going to retire and you know, they're not ever going to do anything that's financially beneficial for themselves. Give you an example, okay? And I realize where this comes from. It comes from having spent years, perhaps doing, you know, spending a sort of 9 to 5 full-time existence, doing a job that has maybe really soured you on just the idea, just the thought of even mentioning the word work. Some people are like that, and I don't blame them at all. And so I'm just trying to encourage people that have been in that spot where they have spent an inordinate amount of their life, perhaps on a 9 to 5, and is looking to get off of that. Congratulations. I just want to say a good word to you, but I want to encourage people also to realize that people need to redefine the word work, because I see people giving other people advice such as this. Oh, well, you can always find a part-time job that you enjoy. Well, that sounds good, right? But how good does it really sound to somebody that has been working a job for so long that they really don't want anything else? They don't want to ever again have anything to do with even the thought of having a job. And the way to get out of that trap is to not take a job. And to make your own job and make your own. For example, I'll give you some examples, okay? I met this retired woman a while back ago, and I do this as I go through the course of my day doing the things that I do. Like I'm looking for a deal on, I'm looking, I don't know, maybe some seed onions or whatever. So I'm answering an ad, and I called the lady about the onions, and then there's special onions that you don't find at the store, and special bunching onions that propagate really easy because I was a gardener. And she couldn't contain her excitement that she had sold $300 worth of onions that month. Now, this is a retired person. She said, I'm just retired on Social Security. I sold $300 worth of onions this month. She was so excited about it. You see what I'm saying? This is so different than a job. I'm not telling you to go plant onions and sell them. I'm just saying that, you find your own groove and you find the thing that like for me, that's probably something I would do because I literally feel like a child playing when I put my hands in the dirt. To me, it's pure enjoyment, okay? Now, other people might think, what? So you find your own thing that you enjoy, that you find fulfillment in. And so I'm just giving you examples. Another lady, I was going to yard sales one day, and this lady, same thing. And I'm telling you, these people are they're beaming and exuding happiness. And it's like a retired woman. I went to the yard sale, and it was a Friday only. And she told me, I just do this, I put in the paper, because I asked her, because she said, I've sold $300 today. And remember, this was like 20 years ago, so $300, it would buy you more than it does today, right? So, and that's in one day. So she was retired, she sold $300 at the yard sale in one day. And I said, you just do this, how many days do you do this? She said, I just put the ad in the ad, Friday only. So she does it one day. And she did $300, and she was super happy about it. I didn't ask these people to tell me their business. They just volunteered because they're so happy about it. They want to share. Let's see, and what else?
Well, somebody commented on our video that we did just previously, and she walks dogs, and she says, I feel like I'm retired because that's what I do. Did you see that comment?
I remember that woman, and I thought it was a really interesting story. And so each person has their own story. And again, it's not that you have to go to some employer and take on a job and be on a regimented,
exactly,
time scale. And if you want to have the yard sale, you have it. If you don't, you don't. If you want to sell the bunching onions this week, you do. And if you don't feel like it, you don't do it. It's different when you're making your own work. It's a totally different game than the just canned advice that a lot of times you get, people that says, well, you can just get a part-time job that you like. To me, for example, if I was going to get paid to come to the beach, that's what making videos is, though. But let's just say that it was a job. The minute you start telling me I have to be here from this hour to this hour and get so much per hour, to me that just takes the fun out of it. But if you say, well, you can go there and you can do this or do that or not do it, or you can do something else. So, it's just the freedom. What should I do as a micro enterprise? So we've already said that the micro enterprise can be an activity that normally is thought of in a big business, but it has to be sized differently. And it has to be sized smaller so that it can do the job of serving your needs, not the other way around, where you're serving the needs of the enterprise. It could be any activity that gives you the life balance that you want. And so what are your needs? So it starts off with you making a list of what your ideal life is like. It totally changes how our life stresses and how we perceive the time that we're spending one day at a time on this earth, and how it affects our disposition in life and how we're enjoying life. That's what I'm talking about, enjoying life. Life becomes much more enjoyable when we figure out how to do these things for a lot less time than what people normally do them. And generally speaking, we're talking about not necessarily selling your time for money.
And so I just want to encourage people that if you are looking at retirement with no savings or very little savings, and look at it as a way to that this is the time that you can really shine and start getting a little more creative with how you see life and what you do, because our way of looking at life has produced a life full of experiences and abundance, and it's all because we've been able to depend on our God-given creativity and positive attitude and possibility thinking. So if you're looking at retirement with no savings or very little savings, be encouraged and understand there's other people in the same boat, and it might make sense to move to a state that doesn't tax your Social Security check. So be encouraged. Thanks for coming to the video. Let us know your thoughts and have a wonderful day.